Radar level gauge installation. 2 installation methods. Flange mounting. Pass 1 2.5 meters male to female extension cable through the first cross arm. Route the female cable of the radar level gauge through the center hole of the triangular flange. Connect it to the male end of the 2.5 meters extension cable. Ensure the cable routing hole on the cross arm aligns with the groove of the triangular flange. Use M820 bolts and nuts to secure the triangular flange of the radar level gauge to the cross arm. Tighten all screws securely. Hose clamp mounting. Adjust the radar level gauge to the proper position. Fix the triangular flange to the cross arm using a hose clamp. Tighten the hose clamp securely. To reposition the radar level gauge, simply loosen the hose clamp and readjust. Cross arm installation. Connect the female end of the first 2.5 meters extension cable to the male end of the second 2.5 meters extension cable. Thread the extension cable through the second cross arm. Connect the cross arm with the radar level gauge installed to the second cross arm using M820 bolts and nuts. Tighten the screws. Thread the extension cable through the pull section. Secure the cross arm assembly to the upper pull section. Steel wire rope installation. Attach the hook of the steel wire rope tensioner to the top of the pole. Pass the other end of the steel wire rope through the rope clamp, double hole aluminum sleeve, and cross arm flange. Thread it again through the aluminum sleeve and rope clamp. Tighten the rope clamp after pulling the wire rope tight. Adjust the tensioner to stabilize the cross arm support. Ensure the radar level gauge maintains a fixed height above the measured water surface without sagging. 35W20A solar power system installation. Note: install the solar panel facing south. The solar panel must be at least 1.7 meters above ground. Secure the solar panels to the designated bracket using screws and nuts. Mount the bracket base onto the horizontal arm support and tighten the 3 set screws. Use hose clamps to fix the horizontal arm to the pole. Connect the solar panel and battery plug connectors and tighten the screws. Route the solar power cable into the pole through the waterproof cable port. There are several types of solar power systems. The following describes other installation methods. 60W38A55 a solar power system installation. Open the large and small designated brackets to a 90 angle and secure with bolts and nuts. Use U-bolts and nuts to fix the solar panel to the pole. Connect the solar panel and battery connectors and tighten the screws. Connect the DC005 power plug to the main unit. Rain gauge installation. Use U-bolts and M8 nuts to fix the rain gauge bracket onto the pole. Use M815 bolts and nuts to secure the rain gauge onto the bracket. If on-site installation is inconvenient, first fix the rain gauge onto the bracket, then mount the bracket to the pole. Cut the internal cable tie inside the rain gauge before installation. Remove any sponge from the bottom of the rain gauge before installation. Route the rain gauge cable into the pole through the waterproof cable port. Upper and lower pole installation. Connect the upper and lower pole sections using M1225 bolts and nuts. Tighten securely. Electrical control box installation. Use mounting clamps and M1040 bolts to fix the control box onto the upper pole section. Install it high enough to prevent flooding damage if the water level rises. Pole fixation. Secure the lower section of the pole to the ground using expansion bolts or a ground cage foundation. Expansion bolt installation. Ground cage installation. Cable routing. Route the solar power cable, radar level gauge extension cable, and rain gauge cable out through the lower waterproof cable port of the pole. Feed them into the control box through the bottom cable entry holes. If the main unit is an Ethernet version, connect the network cable directly to the main unit. Inside the control box, connect the radar level gauge cable and rain gauge cable. Connect both sensors to the main unit. Insert the solar power cable into the DC005 power port on top of the main unit. If dual power supply or AC mains power is selected, connect the included power adapter to a power outlet. If the configuration includes an LED display version, the electrical control box is not required. Route the plug connectors into the LED display housing and connect internally. Connect the radar level gauge and rain gauge to the main unit. Route the antenna from the bottom of the LED display and magnetically attach it to the two. Use AC mains power to supply the LED display and sensors.